I love you too.
Welcome to Manchester, Sylvester Stallone!
My goodness. Thank you.
An evening like this must have seemed unimaginable when you were growing up far away from fame and fortune. Take us back to those days and tell us, what was the extent of your ambition and dreams back then?
I love you too. Now you have to be quiet. I can't remember anything. Okay.
Shut up! Let Sly speak. Thank you.
Okay. I love you too, friend. Anyway, when I started out, seriously, I really didn't have any big. I didn't have any overview. Like I thought, like very much like everyone here. I'm no different, seriously. It's just that I had very, very limited options, and I just thought, wow, I just got to focus on something, and I'll give it a certain time limit. And that was actually, it was acting. And after I tried it for about 6 years, I couldn't get anywhere. And I realized that door is shut, and I said, okay, either I completely quit, or just say, shut that down, and try to find something else in the business. So now you're behind the camera. That's when I started to write. And what is unusual is, I'm not a good writer. You know what I mean? I'm not what you would say, a proficient Cambridge-trained writer. But I understood a story. I understood what my story was, and I thought, I'm sure there's other people who feel like me. And that's how it all started.
But it was a struggle, wasn't it, for you as a writer and actor at first? How bad did things get? Were you ever homeless at any stage?
I did spend about a week in the bus station. Yo, Adrian! I love you! Well, again, like all of us, sometimes it's tough to find a place to stay. So when I got to New York, I remember it was just turning around 1970, and I was broke. I was broke. I had come from Europe. I had been backpacking around Europe, and it's at that time when you're going, you know, I need to find myself. I need to find myself. And then one day I reached in my back pocket, grabbed my butt, and I go, wow, there I am. So mystery solved. I said, okay, now you got to get on with your life. Yeah, and then so I got to New York. And I didn't have any money, so I slept in a bus where the bus depot is.
Oh, you slept in the bus?
Oh yeah, every day. And you know, you keep moving around during the day, and then at night you find the bench. And usually the police didn't care. You know what I mean?
So how did you find the inspiration to not just give up? I mean, you're sleeping in a bus station, you've still got your dreams. That would have destroyed other people. How were you able to, keep fighting for your dreams?
You just have to.
We get it.
I get it. Thank you. No, you talk about how do you not give up on something. It's very hard. It really is. Hanging on to something, though, seriously, when you have nothing ahead of you, this is the defining moment in your life. Literally, when it's like getting dressed in the dark or going into a house with no lights on. You just throw all caution to the wind and you just try. And you know what? You fail. And then you fail again. And then, like I said, you bump into the wall. But eventually, you start to learn your way around. And that thing you're learning your way around is yourself. And you start to find out what you're good at, what you're bad at. And I realized I was not very good at certain things, but I was sort of good at that, which is like telling a story about a common man or a common woman. Not aristocracy, not intellectual, but more of like working class. So that's how it started to evolve. It's just, basically living with fear. You just stay scared. You learn to deal with fear.
So how did seeing the Muhammad Ali versus Chuck Wepner fight
after the show? After the show we'll talk, okay?
Yeah, you'll get a chance.
No,
sit down, shut up, or be thrown out. Okay? Thank you very much. Last warning. Now, one thing you were great at was writing the story of Rocky that really changed everything for you. How did seeing the Muhammad Ali versus Chuck Wepner fight in a closed circuit cinema lead you to create that character?
Okay, because it's all about symbolism. If I wrote about myself, who cares? You know what I mean? It's like another out-of-work actor. No, you know, you go, but what is a metaphor? What's a symbol for life? It's a fight. And what is a better symbol at that time, which is something that's unbeatable, like Muhammad Ali at that time? Well, there used to be a fighter, a real fighter named Rocky Marciano. Now, Rocky Marciano, small, 185 pounds at that time, yet he's undefeated. And I thought, the fact is, if you took two historical characters and sort of put them together in a fantasy, but the fact is they actually did exist. So when the audience went to see Rocky, subconsciously they're going, well, this kind of has happened in reality, an unknown tough guy named Rocky. So that's why I actually had a picture of him in Rocky's apartment to kind of pay tribute to him. So, how you doing, this Rocky? But that's what started, was the actual, that fight. And there was a guy named Chuck Wepner who became the modern day Rocky, was the Bayonne bleeder. And everyone, literally he was famous for bleeding in the ring. This guy would start bleeding on the way to the ring. He's that kind of guy. So anyway, he went the distance. He almost the distance, but pretty close. And I said, there it is. That's the symbolism I'm looking for.
Did you really write it in 3 days, or is that a myth?
Yes, I did. I wrote it in about 3.5 days. But about 80% of it was useless. But I'm a big believer in this. I say go after something, and you know it's going to be sloppy. You know it's going to be incomplete. And people go, oh, that's terrible. You're right, but you got it done. Then you go back and you fix, and you fix, and you fix until you get it right. A lot of writers, a lot of people spend so much time trying to be perfect the first time out, they never get anywhere. I tell you, some of these writers, they drive me crazy. They'll spend a month on one scene. I'll spend a day. But I know it's terrible. But at least you got through it, and you can fix it later. You see what I mean?
But it was a very hot script in Hollywood. Paul Newman, Gene Hackman, Jack Nicholson, they all wanted to play Rocky. Famously, you turned down, when you have no money, $350,000 to walk away from a project and let someone else star. Now, looking back on that now, what was it that made you able to say, no, I have to star in this regardless, I won't take the money?
Stupidity. Sometimes it's good to be stupid, you know what I mean? Like, you're young, you're naive, you go, oh. In a logical sense, it was really, at that time, we lived in a really bad place. My wife would get a nosebleed because the kitchen would be so hot trying to cook, you know. And literally I had to sell my dog. And it was bad. But I mean, how bad could it be? You know what I mean? How bad could it be? And the fact that they were still interested in it, I just said, I knew, you just know, it's like love at first sight. You go, that's the one. You hope. Well, you know, I said, I'm never going to get this opportunity again. So I just hung on, that's all. It's one of those things where you just, again, it's blind faith. Because if you do sell out, if you do turn your back on a challenge, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. Because I have. Thank you, my friend.
You sold the script, you bought the dog back, Rocky became a huge success, there was the Oscar nominations. How on earth did you keep your feet on the ground, or didn't you?
I didn't at all. I got completely carried away. You know, when I had kind of a rough upbringing, not like a lot of other people. You know, I had a tough father, tough mother, tough life, this and that. And you're so used to being told no, 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 no. And finally you do something, you deliver. Some people can contain it. I went too far the other side. You know, I said, I told you! And it's that kind of, and then, you know what I mean? Yeah. You start to go, yeah, and the reputation started to change, and it's like, oh, he was known for arrogance and so on and so forth. So it began, there was a whole flip side of fame that I found, and it was just, it became infamous rather than famous. And it took a long time for that to go away, a long time.
You made Fist, you made Paradise Alley,
right.
But the audience still thought of you only as Rocky. How frustrating was it that people thought you really were the character?
Yeah, again, this is all part of learning. Everyone thinks, an artist thinks, to be artistic, you got to be able to do everything. oh, you know, you got to be able to play Shakespeare, then you got to be able to play comic man, you got to do this, you got to, and then, but I realized that after a few years, you have certain strengths. That's what you do best, and you're not Daniel Day-Lewis. You know what I mean? You are what you can do. No, I'm definitely not better than Daniel Day-Lewis. No, I wish. Anyway, we're talking about this, guys, that you find something that you do well, you find a niche, a groove, you say, okay, I feel this character, and that's why I went on to do as many as 6 of them, because I hated to let it go. It's that one, I'll never find a character like that where you just, you know, you're able to have that ability. But like I said in the beginning, when you're young, you feel like you can fly, you can do everything. And then reality sets in, and you go, all right, maybe I should be a little bit more specific and not so, what was the word I'm looking for, self-aggrandizing.
Yeah, the Rocky movies were all great. Tell us about when you found Mr. T. I mean, what a great opponent Clubber Lang was. What's his backstory?
Well, when I saw Mr. T, I was at the Muhammad Ali fight. Whoop, yep, whoop, whoop. So anyway, I was at the Muhammad Ali fight. This is when he had already been defeated by Leon Spacey. No one gave him a chance. And so I go backstage and we're about to hide the champ, and then I see this guy coming like, yo, man, all these chains and a mohawk. This is like, I've never seen anything like this, you know what I mean? So in the back of my mind, I said, file this guy under unusual character. Well, the time came to write, actually 2 years later, Rocky 3. See, I hadn't even thought about it, but I went, remember that guy? Anyway, he was a bouncer, he was a bodyguard, but there was just something. Remember I said about trying to stand out, be unique? Feathers in his ears, chains here, mohawk. I said, are you kidding me? This is a nightmare, you know, this is amazing. This guy will look great on film. So I invite him down, and he goes, yeah! That's what he thought. What can I do for you? He looked at me like this, everything was a challenge. And I said, well, like I was thinking about you being in the movie Rocky. He goes, really? Then I realized this guy had another side. He was a nice guy. He'd laugh like that. He was shy. And he's like, what? So anyway, I said, I gotta have him. And that's how it happened anyway.
And before we leave Rocky, another great co-star, Ivan Drago, Dolph Lundgren. How did he come into your life?
Again, Dolph Lundgren, freak of nature. Dolph Lundgren, I'm serious, Dolph Lundgren, at first, again, things changed. I wanted Rocky, again, at that time in Russia, we had the Cold War going on, it was all kind of things. So I said, years ago, in the 1930s, you had Joe Louis against Max Schmeling. At that time, it was a big thing about Hitler and Nazi, and it became, so the fight became more than a fight. It was like freedom against this, and you know, one side of the war against the other. So I said, let me just reenact and do it. Reenact and do it. So reenact what was going on with Russia. And I said, okay, let's use symbolism. So I thought, let me get a gigantic guy, big, hairy, powerful guy, you know, so I'm looking at football players. All of a sudden I see a picture of Dolph Lundgren, I'm going, I hate this guy. Why? Because he's perfect. You know what I mean? The guy is 6'5", he's 230 pounds, weighs like this, big cat, big, and he happens to be a chemical engineer and a Fulbright scholar. I'm sure he has an IQ of about 160. My IQ is a little lower than a soccer score. A little different.
And he could punch real good as well. He put you in the hospital quite seriously, didn't he?
Yeah, so we were doing the fights, and he's so big that I literally, I'd say, stay out of the sun, it's making you look big, too big. And I had seen a fight between Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns, and it was a crazy fight that they hated each other, that they just went after each other for the first 2 rounds. And I said, you know what? I want to say that I hate Drago. I hate him so much when he killed Apollo Creed. That I go over to Dolph Lundgren and I say, hey, I got an idea. For the first 45 seconds, really try to knock me out. I mean, go for it. I kind of like got an idea what you're going to do, so you just come after me. Bad idea. So the bell rings, and I'm here, and he's there. And he comes across the ring like, boom, boom. I mean, these punches are coming from here. Boom. Anyway, he catches me in the chest. Whoa. Cut. I'm directing so I can do that. Cut! He goes, what? I go, what? Jesus Christ, I thought I had a car accident. Later that night, I'm laying in bed, I'm going boom, 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 boom. My blood pressure goes up to 260. I go to the hospital, they put me on an emergency jet to fly me back to America as we're in Canada. Next thing I know, I'm in intensive care for 5 days with nuns walking around. I think I'm dead. I'm in St. John's Hospital. So I was going to London. We're not going to pay that. That's bullshit. That can't be real. So they had to run they ran the film backwards, and you see him coming up going, I mean, just, boom. They said, okay, we'll pay. Because they said usually the accidents, what happened is he hit my heart so hard that it banged against my ribs and it started to swell. And that usually happens in car accidents. Okay, so I was hit by a truck.
So Rocky continues in 5 and 6. Around the time of Rocky 3, you become known for another great character, John Rambo. Now, Rambo started off in a novel, but a fantastic thing you do as an actor is make this warrior character so incredibly sympathetic. So tell us about your approach to the material and how you made that work on screen.
In First Blood, the book, the character John Rambo is a homicidal, he's a savage. The war has turned him into literally a monster. So the movie is, or the book was about a guy coming home that literally now turns on his own country. So we created a Frankenstein monster, but now when it comes home, what do you do with him? What do you do with these poor soldiers? You trained them to do this, and then when they get home, you don't want anything to do with them. So it was kind of a message film. And at that time, a lot of Vietnam vets had been committing suicide. They were going crazy. They were being shunned. It was almost a stigma to be involved in the army. So I said, you know what? I don't want to do a movie where at the very end, because in Rambo at the very end, Colonel Troutman literally shoots him. Bang, dead. Because he's so crazy. I said, this is not going to work, man. No, I mean, Rambo's killing fishermen, everyone in the woods. I mean, he's just on a tear. So I said, how about this? He could if he wanted to. He had 1 foot in outlawlessness and 1 foot, there's still something about his country that he couldn't break away from. It's like his mother. So I always had him just walk right along that line. He could take you out. I could do it. I'll give you a war you won't believe. Let it go. In other words, he keeps moving away. And it's one of the few Rambos where Rambo is always being chased. Whereas before, the other one became the hunter. And anyway, that was a big battle, believe me. They wanted him to die. And I got into such an argument with the director. He went crazy. He destroyed the set. I said, he ain't dying. Sorry. He's already paid his price. Thank you.
Because you're thinking sequel, of course.
And then there's a sequel.
Yes. Now, when First Blood becomes a huge hit, how much personal satisfaction do you take to prove to the world, I can't just be a success as Rocky, look at me, and now I'm a success as Rambo too. You have a second franchise. How much did that mean to you?
Well, I'll give you a little insight. This is how unusual or how success can sneak up on you, literally disguised as failure. I was the 11th choice for Rambo. 11. I mean, I think I followed the monkey, you know what I mean? It was Neanderthal man, Java man, came Stallone. The 11th choice. Steve McQueen had turned it down, and Paul Newman turned it down, Burt Reynolds, the same things like Rocky. And it was a cursed subject. Nobody wanted to deal with a soldier coming home attacking his country. And I said, you know what, there's something here. And I'll never forget, I was doing a film called Nighthawks, and I read the script, and my agent goes, it's kind of a cursed project. 3 directors, 11 guys have passed on it. I go, perfect. Because if something is that scary to people, there's got to be something there.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out what it is. And what I love about, let me see how I can define this. Rambo and Rocky are both sides of the human consciousness. One is optimistic and one is pessimistic. One, like, Rocky is like a guy who's already had coffee in the morning, and Rambo's a guy who hasn't had his coffee yet. You know what I mean?
Now, as the Rambo films continued and the body count got bigger, so did your biceps. Tell us about how you're so incredibly pumped up. We've never seen a physique like that in cinematic history. What did you do? How did you suffer? How did you achieve it?
I just thought that as the character lived more of a savage life, he would have become stronger. In other words, he just lived a life among the wild, in the woods, and whatever. And so I saw him actually kind of morphing into an animal, especially going to like the last Rambo, where I got up to probably about 105 kilos, which is a lot for me, and it just became a hulking animal. People say, well, why'd you get so fat? I said, he didn't get fat, he just got thick, like a beast of burden. And I felt very, very strong. But it's kind of a challenge. The jump between Rocky 2 and Rocky 3 was, I wanted it to be drastically different. Rocky becomes a protected guy, kind of an egomaniac. He is what happens to a lot of fighters and a lot of people. Once they become successful, musicians, whatever, they now have managers that keep away the truth. Like, that wasn't a very good show, or you're drinking too much, or this and that. Well, Rocky was now being protected because his manager didn't want him to get hurt anymore. And the reality is, a guy like Clubber Lang, you don't want to fight a guy like that because that guy is still street and hungry and mean, and you're rich and you got a mansion and you're driving Lamborghini. He's gonna kill you, see what I mean? So that was, so I thought I had to get into this. I wanted to change the body to be, that Rocky become very vain, see what I mean? So it's just a matter of developing it for a character, and I just got carried away with it. It kept going.
So you're riding high in Hollywood with Rambo and Rocky, but life isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Stop or my mom will shoot. What were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking. Okay. I had heard. I don't think I've ever heard. No, come on.
That's a check plate.
So I had heard, I was so competitive with Arnold, right? I had heard, Arnold wants to do this movie, you know. I want to do it. Give it to me. He goes, nah, he wants to do it. And I think he tricked me. I swear to you. Because he's always bringing it up. He goes, I loved you in diapers. I said, at least I didn't give birth to a kid. No, I swear to you. I'm telling you, I've been writing and he goes, oh, it's a big studio filming. Arnold wants to do it. That make up your mind. I swear to you. He goes, I wasn't going to do that piece of crap. I'm running for governor.
You joke about it now, but how competitive was your relationship with Arnold? How would you characterize it, and how has that relationship changed over the years?
Did you ever have somebody you just wanted to strangle every day? Like in the morning, right before you go to bed, and they just lay there going, that guy. We were so competitive. I don't know how our ego, because he was Mr. Olympia 7 times, forget it. He was gigantic. But there was just something about, we came along at the same time where we started to pioneer this action kind of a thing. Of course, I was first, but but he was bigger. But he was bigger and very ambitious and very smart. Really, very, very, very smart. You know. So what happened is that we just became very competitive, and then you realize, I mean, it got to the point where we couldn't be in the same room together. We were like him, and I'll never forget, we were in Cannes once, and we just weren't talking to each other. And I said, "You got to do something weird." And I just went over and said, "You want to dance?" And they got this picture. Really, it's the first time we had talked.
Great, keep it to yourself.
You're the one that has the picture. Well, thank you, bro.
Thank you, sir. Security, thank you. Now, you were telling us how your relationship changed. Was it the dance that changed everything, do you think, when you looked into each other's eyes?
No, it wasn't the dance. Right after, it was like, that wasn't, who was leading, who was following. Now, we became, again, we were very, very competitive, and I kind of started to focus on one area, and like I was doing Copland and things like that, and he was very smart, and he got this whole Terminator thing going, and he started to pass me, you know what I mean? He was doing bigger and more ambitious films, like Total Recall, and I'm on Will Call, you know, nothing's happening. So I give him credit, and then, you know, things start to change, and careers go up and down, and because every generation has to find its own heroes, and it just moves on. It's like, you know, when people were listening to my parents' music, I go, oh, that's horrible. And when I'm sure my kids listen to my music, they're really this. So same thing with films. And right today, you have a different genre of action characters than you had in our day, and it's just normal. So we went away for a while and sort of come back in a different kind of incarnation. You know, never to be the same. You know, you can only be hot once, discovered once. You know, that's your first moment, and then after that, you just try to hang on.
You were one-upping each other for so long. I wonder when he becomes governor, did it ever cross your mind, now I'm going to be president?
Yeah, I know. I said, this is actually possible. I was freaking out. Matter of fact, when I was doing Demolition Man, we wrote a line in Demolition Man, and Sandy Bullock goes, oh yeah, we studied on, we went to the Schwarzenegger Presidential Library. I go, what? This president? He goes, yes, he was on, they changed the rules. I went, oh, put me back in the fridge. No, but...
So you were not tempted to go into politics yourself?
You know, I would, but I just think my views just wouldn't go over well, and I would most likely, I would be assassinated at home. No, I just think it's, you have to have a certain, it's tough sometimes to just go out and do publicity, but it's not that tough. A politician, you're on every day, morning, night. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I don't, Arnold does. Arnold has unbelievable energy. He can go out there and hit it hard every day. I can't do it. I just don't have that gear.
Looking back on your life, so much fantastic stuff. Do you have any regrets at all?
How long's this show? Of course. I mean, with life comes regrets. With regrets, hopefully comes knowledge. Like, for example, I used to think I was the nicest guy, always pleasant around the house, and then I saw some home movies of me. I go, what a crotchety bastard. No wonder, I'm like, really, you know what I mean? And so finally, when I saw those home movies, I said to my wife, I said, okay, that's it, I get it. Now, Jesus, that was really horrible. Yeah, about 15 years worth. So then I said, okay, I gotta, so there's a certain kind of realization, and you regret that. You really do regret that. The best thing you can have is a good woman or a good man who just tells you the truth, says, really, you're acting a little foolish. Chill. Yeah. He goes, no, I'm not. He goes, can I take a picture? Yeah. You'll see.
You're a painter, you're a poet, you're a family man. I mean, how do you assess your life now, and how happy are you compared with other stages in your life?
Oh, it's good. You know, there's I found out that wealth, acquisition, accomplishment, let's say in movies or art or writing, it seems to be very, very gratifying, but it comes at a cost. It really does. When you become incredibly dedicated to a cause, and I think it's important when you're young, say from 30 to 45 or something, or 25 to 30, you say, I gotta go out and hit the world. I gotta go out and hit the world as hard as in the mouth every day. And then after you start to have accomplished things, then you say, what does it cost me? Being successful has cost me my family. Has cost me memories. It costs seeing your daughter graduate. It's cost you're in Indonesia on a movie set when certain things happen. So at a certain point you have to go, what is really more valuable? who you're going to be with when in your last days. See what I mean? And I've seen so many regrets, and that's where now the priorities change. You say, do you want to be on the road and try to do 30 movies a year, or you say you want to do one and just sit there and be picked on by your daughters? I said, okay, let me do that.
Well, we hope you just do one if they're all as good as the Expendables 3. Let's talk about this latest franchise I mean, this guy's incredible. Who else creates 3 franchises in movie history? Rocky, Rambo, now the Expendables. How did the Expendables come about?
Well, the name Dependables was... Did you ever see these revival rock and roll shows, right?
Yeah.
All right, you have all these great artists that were fantastic in the 80s, and now in the 90s, 2000, they're gone. You go, but they really had talent. But as I said, every generation has to find its own level or artist to represent it. So I'm sitting there, and one day in my office, I'm going, God, whatever happened to this guy? Where's Doc? Where's Wesley? Where's all these guys? I was like, it's just like doing a musical review. Let me put together, the Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the Vanilla Fudge, the Strawberry Alarm Clock, Jimi Hendrix. You put them all together, and then you might have something interesting. Maybe on their own, it's not as interesting. But the curiosity factor of seeing all these guys in the same room at one time, I see that. See what I mean? I was good at it, just out of curiosity. That's what happened.
How easy was it to get Arnold to say yes to the first one?
Oh my God. Beg me. I'm begging! He was running, it was great because he was running for governor. And I completely sold. I said, I'll do whatever you want. I'll go there and campaign for you. And I did. But actually, he's a really good guy. So I'm flying all over the place and doing what I can and telling stories. And we're hanging out. And he's trying to become governor a second term, which he does. And then I said, Ozzy's now my turn. And believe it or not, as a standing governor, which is unbelievable, he came and showed up. I had to sneak into a church on Sunday, like after masses and everything. So you go in there, so nobody knows you're there, because if they see the governor filming, it's over. I mean, it's politically over. So he came through, and then Bruce showed up for the day. We knocked it out in about 3 hours. It was just fun. We'd make it up half the time. And we go, why is he so mad? Who wants to be president? That kind of stuff. And then when the second one came around, Arnold was no longer governor. He said, now I'm going to get back in the movies again. I said, well, I got a job for you.
Now, someone else you've cast in all the Expendables films is fellow Brit Jason Statham.
Oh, that's right, he's British.
More qualified than anyone to judge his action star credentials. So, what has Jason Statham got that sort of sets him apart among the modern actors?
Yeah, he's definitely English. He's got it's really hard. I could put, and I'm not kidding you, you never know who's going to be the star until the camera goes on. I have hired so many people, I say, oh yeah, this guy, look at him. And then the camera, they disappear. It's the most, same thing with some models. In the world of modeling, you see a girl and everything, oh, she's okay. The camera, boom. And you know what happened? See? Well, Jason, I saw him on film. He had a small part early on. I think it was with Kim Basinger. He played like a mugger. I went, that dude is a star. And little did I know, then Lock, Stock, and Barrel, and someone else, and then he was an athlete. But he's also kind of a street guy, very smart. You know, he learned this trade on the street. So, and he's a real badass, for real. I mean, real. And so the thing was, I said, all your movies, you never smile, you never talk, you never joke. I said, you're going to be like my partner. Yes. We're going to goof around. So once he started to lighten up, especially this new one, He has a really transformative, great personality, but he gets shy. You know what I mean? So I'm on him, I'm hammering him, I'm ad-libbing with him, goofy with him, until finally he gets it out there. He's good though. I'll tell you what, I wish, too bad I don't have it on film here. I watched him face death in the last Expendables. He was test driving the truck, I swear to you, if I'm lying, I'm dying. And it was in the black seat, and the brakes went out. And he drove this truck, it was a 3-ton truck, and it went down 75 feet into the mud of the Black Sea, impaled. Just luckily, we had taken the doors off, but it was still 0, because we were doing stunts with it, 0 degrees. I mean, you cannot see. It's that bad. And if any of us had been on the truck instead of him, probably dead. Because we're all wearing heavy boots, heavy things, gun belts. We would have stuck in the bottom. But because he was an Olympic quality diver, there he is.
Genuine action hero.
He did. And then a half hour later, he came back and said, let's keep going. I would say, I quit.
You mentioned that you saw Jason first playing a small role as a mugger in a film. You started your career playing a mugger in the Woody Allen movie Bananas. So how tempted are you to cast Woody Allen in the Expendables film?
I would.
Bring it full circle.
You know, he's the mastermind. Like, he's the guy behind the curtain, like in the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I was always cast as a mugger. I kind of always saw myself as a Hugh Grant kind of guy in Notting Hill. Somehow it just doesn't work with the crooked mouth and the two guys in the deep voice. So, yeah, right. Please. So I said, what am I going to do with this face? And every time I'd audition, I'd always be the thug. No, I'm not going to say thug. No. And that's one of the reasons when I wrote Rocky, to make him a thug. You know, but make him weird. He bounces the ball and he has cut off fingers. I mean, he's so obvious a thug. You know? It's like, he's going to be really stupid to walk around like that, because every cop will pick him up and arrest him. And actually, I was stopped. Because before, as I was working on Rocky, they didn't know I was Rocky. It was the first movie. I got pulled over. Yeah, they said, what are you doing in the neighborhood? He's like, yeah, I look like a horror. Even the hat I mean, so I realized then when I got stopped by a cop, it was working. The character was working.
Well, you've got great casting instincts. Let's talk about the Expendables 3. You've got some newcomers to the party this time.
Right.
We've got Wesley Snipes. We've got Harrison Ford. And Mel Gibson as the villain, of course. Talk about the new additions to the cast this time. And what
we've got Antonio Banderas, Chelsea Grammer, and then we have the toughest woman in the world, Ronda Rousey. Yeah, I love turning her loose on the guys was a horror. You think you're tough until you get she just will murder you. Anyway, I thought this time to bring in some guys that could really act and give you guys a break. You know what I mean? Say, oh, there's a story there. So we actually bring in some really good actors. Our other guys, you know, we kind of had tapped out as far as you can go. And when you do sequels, you understand you lose the element of surprise. People get you. You know, oh, that's the same thing again. So you have to bring in new blood. So bringing in Antonio and all these fellas haven't done films like this for a while. Wesley is just out of jail, so it's great. I'll tell you what, in the first scene, we put you in jail. And we bring you out. Make you feel comfortable. And I'm joking, Wesley. Don't kick my ass. Do not do this. Anyway, so we had all these characters coming there, and Mel Gibson, you know, he's so good in this. He plays a good baddie, boy. He plays a great baddie in this. And he got, you know, it's amazing. Wait till you see how big he is. He went to the gym. He grew. He went 3 hours a day in big, thick forearms. You know, why do you have to do that? Why do you have to do that? So we have a little battle at the end, but it's a very, very good movie, very unusual, and I'm extremely proud of it.
Are you going to do number 4?
Of what?
Of Expendables.
Yeah, they stopped downloading it.
Now, in a couple of minutes, we're going to take questions from the audience, but now we've set up the Expendables 3, so what do you say we look at the trailer? Here's Expendables 3! August 14, the Expendables 3. Now it's Q&A time. There are staff with microphones at the back there. We've got people lined up on both sides. I'm going to take the first question from this side of the room, and I'm going to go from that side of the room. Do we have the staff ready with the microphones? And the first question, please. If the person who has the microphone can identify themselves and then ask the question. Remember that it's questions, not comments. No autograph requests, no photo requests, and remember a question ends with a question mark. So, if we can get the first question, please, to the guys in the back. Have the microphone? Yeah. Clearly not. Okay, well that worked well. Well, we'll meet.
Look how high up it goes.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Obviously tonight.
Okay, in that case, let's take a question from this lady on the end of the third row. And
Obviously tonight, to everybody in here.
Oh, there we go, sorry. We'll get back to you. Yeah. Fire away, what's your question?
Obviously, to everybody here, you are our hero. But who is your hero?
Thank you very much.
Is that the question?
I asked who his hero is.
Oh, who is your hero? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Who is your hero is the question, Sly.
He keeps talking on top of you. What is going on? Hi. Is there a question?
Yeah, the question was, you're a hero to all of us, who is your hero?
Oh. For a kind of superficial first hero was, I was kind of scrawny, and then I saw a film called Hercules with Steve Reeves, who was probably like the guy, the best looking guy in the world, and the first Mr. America. And that changed my life. I literally ran out of theater and started lifting things. Not big things, you know, like a newspaper, things like that. But it was a beginning. And that literally, if I had never seen that film, I never would have just kept going. So that was it. Modern day heroes, you know, it sounds corny, but I thought it would always be tough guys, athletes, this and that, and people of that nature, movie stars, this, that, whatever. But when it gets right down to it, it's people that save your life. It's like firemen, police, doctors. Like my daughter had heart surgery, and I see this doctor who goes, wow, this man has the power of life and death. That's my new hero.
There's a hero in the audience by the name of Terry Flood. It's his 72nd birthday. He's a weightlifting champion from Ireland. Where are you, Terry? Can you just say happy birthday to Terry, the weightlifting champion of Ireland, 72 today?
Happy birthday, Terry, the weightlifting champion of Ireland.
Okay, and if we can get the microphone for the next question, please. In the absence of it, yeah, let's hear your question, sir.
Hi, over here.
Yeah, who would you like to be the villain in Expendables 4?
I know, it's a tough one. It's not an easy question. I've shot everyone. I'm serious, there's not many people left. So I think it's gonna have to be like an intellectual villain who's surrounded by tough guys, you know what I mean? I don't think we're gonna come across, unless The Rock wants to get his ass kicked. Just kidding! Dwayne, I am kidding. I'm just kidding. He's too big. Yeah.
Okay, we have the microphone in the hands of the next person, so if you can just deliver us the question, please.
Sylvester, I've got a question. Me and my sister are here to see you, and we both had a tough year this year. And in the last Rocky film, you said that when you get knocked down, you keep going. And that's a real inspiration to a lot of us. And I want you to tell us about something in your own life that's been the same. Are those words from yourself?
Yeah, I've been hit pretty hard in the past couple of years, and it's so true. Life hits harder than any human being ever. Anyone here can just take a good punch, put some ice on it, you keep going on. But life can just beat your heart out, and it's going to happen. Like it said in the speech. It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. So it's going to be hard. It's hard. Life is hard. It's not easy. So you got to be just as tough. See what I mean? And believe me, I know it's not easy. Sometimes you just want to quit and you go, God damn. But keep going, world. Keep going.
Next question on the microphone, please.
Hi, I had a dream last night that, that I was at this show, and in my dream I actually got to come and give you a kiss. So are you going to make my dream come true?
Oh, that was you.
That was me.
I remember that one.
I'll be very quick.
Whatever they allow you to do, feel
come
free.
on, you've got to let my dream come true.
It's a shame it was only a kiss in the dream. That might have been even more interesting.
She's a good kisser.
Next question on the microphone, please.
Hello. What's been the best things you've learned in your life, and what things you live by? And can I have a man cuddle?
I think it was like, what's the best rules you live by?
What's been the best learned in your life, and what rules do you live by? And can I have a man cuddle?
Oh.
I had a dream too.
Is it the best rules to live by?
R-U-L-E-S, yeah.
Get them before they get you. Now, let me say, seriously, the best rules, wow. It's tough, because every day you feel like changing the rule. Like what looked good on Monday really stinks on Tuesday. But I guess the best rule, seriously, is, oh man, it's really trying to be loyal to an ideal. It's hard. You know what I mean? Life is hard. The best rule is to really stick to what you believe, and people are going to beat you up for it. You're going to take a lot of crap because it's tough. I remember the first teacher I ever had, I don't know if it was sports or something, he said, Sly, remember one thing. The day you try to lift your head above the crowd, people are going to be lining up for a mile to cut it off. It's just human nature. So, get ready to be beheaded, but it's worth it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Whoa. I thought we were going to have an action scene.
First. He could have taken him, couldn't he? Yes. Next question on the microphone, please.
Hi.
You talked about the next Expendables film. Are you thinking about doing anything on either Rocky or Rambo going forwards?
Any more Rocky or Rambo films?
Boy, you really hit a sore... No, she hit a sore subject. Now, obviously, if I do another Rocky, I'm going to be fighting arthritis. That's about it. You know what I mean? I pushed that limit. Because that last fight, actually, I got to use a real champion, Antonio Tarver, and that was good. And we actually made a lot of contact. So I think I can't do a better Rocky than that. It's just not in me. It just told the whole story. But Mickey Gomel. I'm doing another Rambo, for sure. That's for sure. But, I'm warning you right now. If you expect to see me jumping out of a tree with a headband, fighting a boa constrictor, you are sadly mistaken. No, there was I think there's an interesting story of a man like that, a warrior. If they come home, and it's happened many times, they just can't settle in. It's just, you can keep making excuses. Well, you know, the war made me do it. Some guys are just warriors, and they can't settle in. And what happens, Rambo takes a little ride down to Mexico, looking for a girl, and it's not taking, but it's just, we'll call it shaking. It'll be closer to that. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, it's a really interesting story. I don't know if anyone ever saw a film called No Country for Old Men. Really an interesting Javier Bardem and all that. It's going to have that kind of a feel. It's going to be a serious film that deals with a serious subject, and then of course at the very end, it gets seriously violent.
Yes! Next question on the mic, please.
Mr. Stallone, you're the sexiest man alive. I want to marry you. Can I have a selfie with you?
What does she want to do to you?
I love you.
No selfies, but nice try. Next question. Remember I announced no photos, no autographs, no rushing to the stage. But let's hear the next question on the microphone, please.
Hi, Sylvester.
Hi.
I'm the biggest Rocky fan.
I love
even
you
went
too.
to Philadelphia and I ran up the steps, had my picture with your statue. Big fan. But that's my favourite movie. What's your favourite movie?
Which one?
What's your favourite movie? Of anyone's? Of anyone's, yeah.
Anyone.
It's you won't believe it. You know, it's something I like. Talking head movies. You all produced a great actor called Peter O'Toole, who to me he did all Lion in Winter and Beckett. I'm sure a lot of people you don't see it anymore. That's amazing. You've got Daniel Day-Lewis, who's amazing. But I don't know. The best movie I ever saw was how do I put this? Rocky. I'm only kidding. Shameless.
The lady mentioned running up the steps of the Philadelphia Art Museum. Right. I did that as well, and when I get to the top, the Rocky statue isn't there.
No.
So what happened to it?
Well, they moved him down to the bottom. They got upset that Rocky was up there, and I understand because when they made that place, it's a very famous museum. You can all of a sudden have, what's Rocky doing up here? They didn't build this 100 years ago with Rocky in mind, so I understood. But what they were nice enough as the museum commissioners, they moved Rocky down to the side where he'll stay forever, and it's an incredible compliment. My kids aren't impressed, but I said, hey, it's not so bad. But the thing is, they're changing the steps of Philadelphia. In 2 years, they won't exist anymore. I know. Yeah, they are. They're bringing in a very famous architect, Frank Gehry, and they're going to make it more modern. I went, really? But so now Rocky would run up. If I was doing the movie today, he'd probably run up an escalator. It's a little different. It won't be quite as dramatic.
Gonna fly now. Thank you so much. Excellent question. Let's have the next question on the microphone, please.
Sylvester, in all the things we've seen you do, in all the films, the places you've been, all the action you've done, what is the most momentous moment of your life, including your private life?
Momentous moment of your life.
Momentous in films.
Your film.
The hardest. When Rocky was on, that was kind of like beginner's luck, blind luck. You just try your best. The hardest thing ever, no question about it, is when people think you're finished and you have to struggle and struggle and struggle. It took 6 years, 7 years to get the last Rocky Balboa made because I really felt I had blown it on the 5th one, and I didn't want to leave it like that. I felt I had really betrayed people. But oh yeah, I swear to God, the studios would say, I'm telling you, quote, over our dead bodies, we're never making the movie. Rocky is done, you're done. I go, I get that, but let's do a movie about a guy who's basically done. And Rocky is done. He just has this one thing inside, like all of us. As we get older, it gets tougher because we have more emotions, and it's dealing with that kind of, as he says, stuff in the basement. It's an interesting movie, and that's what the movie was about: was purging yourself of loss, of grief, passing of youth, and saying, how do I accept the future? How do I get that out? And trying to tell that to certain people in the studios, like, huh? But I said, that's a movie. So, to answer your question, that was by far the hardest thing ever. It literally was like something coming from the dead, out of the ashes. So I'm very proud of that. Thank you.
Hi, Stan.
Hello.
I haven't really got a question for you, but I'd just like to say to you that I met you in the premiere in London 4 years ago, and I had your tattoo of your signature put on my arm. I was wondering if I could just come and show you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I was wondering if I could come and show you. Over here!
Yeah, you can.
Can I?
Yeah.
Thank you, nice outfit.
Hey, yo, Rambolina! Watch out. They're gonna think, no way. That is my signature. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. That's amazing. It looks like some Egyptian symbol. I know it is. It's incredible. It's unbelievable.
Thanks so much, and you look great. Yeah, next question, please.
Hello. Hello,
my
Hello, my question.
No.
My question's about 2 quotes of yours. The first one's from
a ass or arm?
What's that? What?
Art!
What do you think they said?
I can't hear because the rules. Ass, arm, fool.
I just want to ask you about 2 quotes. The first one's from Rocky.
I know, that would be a good idea. Thank you.
Go ahead, sir, take it.
You don't owe nobody nothing, you owe yourself. What does that mean to you? And also, from your book, Sly Moves, consider the source. Have you used that lately?
Yeah, he was asking about 2 quotes, one from Sly Moves and one from When He Moves. Just repeat the first quote, sir.
Nobody owes nobody nothing, you owe yourself. What does that mean to you?
Nobody knows nothing but yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Is that the quote? It's true. And nobody really knows nothing for sure. So when people say, hey, I know, I go, no. There's a quote saying about life by the poet Robert Frost. He goes, we all dance around in a ring, you suppose, but the answer sits in the middle and knows. And what that basically means is everybody seems to know what life is all about, but we don't. The secret is always going to be a secret. It's always going to be a mystery. That's why we invent so many different ways to probe into our philosophies and religion and theology and spiritualism. So, I don't know where I'm going with that answer, but it has something to do with lifting weights.
We'll take the next question now, please.
Hello?
Yep.
Oh my god. I was just wondering, is there anything you're really scared of and you don't really know what to do about it?
Oh, what are you really scared of?
If there is anything.
I am really scared of getting my wife pissed off, really. I'm serious. I'm serious, guys. I can't win. It's genetically impossible. It just doesn't quit. You know, the debate. After a while, I go, all right, you win, whatever. I don't. My ears are bleeding. I can't. And by the way, they make sense. So I'm afraid of getting that wound up, but also I'm afraid of crippling injury. Crippling injury. We've had some very serious ones, and I've seen the dark end of the tunnel. And like, for example, I've had, since Expendables, 7 major operations. And so I know what it feels like to squeak when you walk. You're like, oil me. So that bothers me a great deal. So I go, okay, gotta be a little bit more careful because I don't like being careful. So it's that's why in Rambo I plan on breaking my neck on camera, just for you guys. Thank you very much. Once and for all, just break your neck. Be done with it.
Next one on the microphone, please.
Hello, Sylvester. My hero, the Rocky Italian Stallion.
Wow.
Rocky Balboa.
Thank you, Apollo.
The Motor Monte Fisto. I'm only kidding. Is there a question? It's a fact and a question, please. Is that be okay, Sylvester? Basically, I've got a son called Sylvester after your good self, and I've got a little girl, 12-week-old, Italian, after aging Italian Shire.
No way.
God's honest truth, may you strike me down, I love you. We love you, Rock. Come and shake your hand, and are you doing one more Rocky Balboa, or is he gone?
I think he answered that one.
I'll tell you, the only thing, and I don't know if anyone would ever be interested in it, believe me, nobody likes to hang on to Rocky Balboa more than I, but no one would ever believe him as a fighter anymore. And the idea was to do a movie about Apollo Creed's grandson as a fighter. But I don't know if that would work. So I'm kind of, I don't know. Does anyone want to see, Rocky become Mickey? No. You're supposed to say no. All right, now I'm more confused than ever.
Rocky, Rambo, The Expendables. Sly's won so many awards in his career, been presented with so many things. Tonight we're going to present him with something from you guys. Some of you on the way into the theatre were asked to sign a special poster saying, "With love from Manchester to Sylvester Stallone." To present it from you, the people of Manchester, to him, the Italian Stallion, welcome the promoters of the show on stage with a presentation to Sylvester Stallone. In your own time, guys. Anytime you're ready. Stefan, the floor is yours.
Hi.
Yes.
I love you, man. Thank you.
Hi guys, how are you doing? At the beginning of the show, as you know, you all signed this for Sylvester. It's all pre-signed for you, and we've had it framed up tonight just for you.
Oh, that's
so
incredible.
You take a bit of time to read everything tonight. Yeah, all the audience, this is all the audience tonight, whoever had the lucky chance to write down their thoughts.
Thank you,
That's the first. That's the first. That is incredible. I don't even know how to respond to that because you've given me so much more than I've given you. And no, really, and now you keep giving. And it makes me say, God, man, what am I going to do to be more human? You know, like you feel like you lose touch. Because you people, I'm serious, it's really amazing because obviously I'm not from another country, but you've embraced me, or you've embraced the character, I should say, which makes it even more special. So, thank you, I love you, and hopefully I can come back someday in one shape or another.
Final thought. Your whole story is an inspiration. Leave us tonight with some inspiring words of your own.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Okay, listen. Oh, thank you. Very kind. Thank you very much. Thank you, sweetheart.
Not now.
No. Inspiring words. You know, I think, you know, a long time ago, I wrote something, I'm not even sure what I was getting at, and it may sound really pretentious, but it's like, if for one mortal moment, a mortal person hasn't taken a slice of immortality, at least try to get a piece of the pie, one has not lived, just merely existed. So I'm saying to you, I want you to go out there and grab life, grab your dreams by the throat, and I swear, don't let go until you got them. Thank you very, very, very much. I love you.
And we'll never let go of our memories of this night with Sylvester Stallone, everybody!